What we do here is go back.
Oh Lord, I was muted. Hey everybody, we turn the music down so we can get to it. What's going on? What's happening? Oh, there we go. All right, hang on one second. It's always something. Things are always okay. There we go. All right, I hope you can hear me. All right, so I'm back again. It's your girl Inga 71. I'm back. I'm back here again for some more shenanigans. But if it's your first time here and you saying, "Who the hell is this lady with this red lipstick on up here talking?" Um, I'm Inga 71. Please make sure that you like, subscribe, do all the things, and also follow me on Instagram if you have Instagram. I'm on TikTok too. I have a TikTok, but I don't really be on there doing nothing. But I'm active on Instagram. So subscribe, like, share, do all those things and comment and just join the fun we have over here on this channel. All right. So we done with the commercial. Okay. We done with the commercial. Hey, Harris, what's going on? Hey, all I see for me. I've been waiting to all you've been waiting all week to hear me talk about this child. And it was supposed to be Tuesday, but then we got moved to today. And so, life be lifing. Um, yeah. Oh, hello again, Andre. And I'm say, on that note, hey, what's going on that note? All right, I got my homegirl here, you know, from Harlem, New York, by way of also North Carolina. I mean, she just all around the world and yeah. She everywhere. So, pretty girl, are you here?
Yes, ma'am.
All
Hey,
right,
y'all.
what's going on?
Girl, nothing much, child. Just ready to get into the things, girl.
Yeah. Oh, Lord time. But yeah, we're gonna get into it. Let me see, who's this? Hi, it was a Ava F2K1M. Y'all be having some creative names, okay? Y'all be having some creative names. What's going on? Yeah, so okay, y'all. So if y'all don't know why y'all here, is Netflix has a documentary. It's under this thing called Reality Check, and it's inside America's Next Top Model. And I don't know about you, pretty girl, but I used to watch Top Model. That was my shit. Okay, that was my thing. I used to watch it back in the day. When it first came on. When I forgot the year it first came on. I know it was early 2000. Um, where you into it, when it initially came on.
Oh, yes, definitely. I was a big Tyra Banks fan, advocator. Um, I don't know when I fell off. I didn't even realize they had 24 cycles, but I definitely watched, I would say at least the first like six, seven, consecutive.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. See, you are very pretty. I appreciate it. Look, I ain't putting no makeup on, just throwing some lipstick. So I want up here looking like a Shrek or something up here. Okay, so
Oh, girl, please.
so I'm just trying. When I'm at home, I ain't doing it all up. Not too often I do that. Unless I'm just trying to show off or something. But um, yeah, okay. So all I see said 2002. She thinks, yeah, it's something around that time. I just know it was the early 2000s. Yeah, I know it was still around the early 2000s when we was still dropping it every time we heard Juvenile back that thing up. So it was the 99 2000s. I know it was around that time frame.
Mm-hmm.
It was around that time frame. And I wasn't never trying to be a model or anything, but I just thought it was a fascinating show. I thought it was, I was intrigued by it. But I'm with you. After so many cycles of it, because that's what they call it. They don't call them seasons with her show, with Tyra's show. She called them cycles. After so many cycles, I dropped off of it. I think around, be honest with you, I can't remember anything after 10. I probably barely remember. I think I remember 6, because that was when the girl with the gap in her teeth thing. I think, and we gonna talk about that. But I don't really remember too much after 10. So if I did watch it, I don't remember it. Like I really don't remember it. So I know I didn't go all the way to the end. I was surprised when it stayed on that long. I was real,
Yeah.
yeah, I was real shocked. So oh, she said after Eva was season 3. So after season, because after, yeah, season 3 was Eva. So that's when you stopped. I just and it's so funny this documentary is out because I had started going back watching. I was just flipping one day. Well, let me go to the backstory. I was just flipping like you sit on your sofa. Let me find something to watch. I went on Hulu, scrolling around, and I saw America's Next Top Model was on there all the seasons. I said, "Oh, for real? I ain't seen this show in a long time." I just went on there and started clicking season 1. I was getting caught up in it. Got watching season 2. So I had recently started watching. I think I watched up to season 3. I didn't go past that. But and then all of a sudden the documentary dropped, and so the first 3 seasons it's fresh in my head because I not that long ago, a month or so ago, was watching it. It was maybe sometime like around December, January. I was so it's still fairly fresh. The first 3, I didn't watch any of the other ones. Um, and then when I seen this documentary, I said, I see a lot of stuff some of the girls on there were saying. Actually, I had my own opinion on it, um, watching it with fresh eyes at my big age now versus back then. Um, Now, okay, let me ask you this: do you think people are being extremely critical based on because people are watching it, people who weren't even around at the time, maybe not born, or they were very little kids, so they wasn't even watching it then, but they started watching it now. The documentary talked about that when 2020 came. Everybody, we all locked in the house watching verses and doing nothing, and people started going back binge watching old TV
Mm-hmm.
shows, which I did the same thing too. I was going digging through watching old school TV shows and things too. And they started watching Top Model, and now people started trashing it because they're looking at it through the lens of 2025, now 2026.
Mm-hmm.
Or from 2020 through now, through this time frame. Are people being too critical? Uh because back then in 2000s, early 2000s, the reality shows was off the chain back then, and they was doing any and everything, and nobody complained, nobody said nothing. So, what's your opinion on if we're being too harsh on the show now?
It's yes and no for me, right? Because like you said, it was the early 2000s. At this point, reality TV is like 10 years old. Because honestly, I could be wrong, but the first reality TV show that I can think of is Real World. And I feel like
Yeah,
that was like 92 ish,
girl, I
93.
was a real world person. I
Yes.
was just all I watched. Well, I ain't gonna say I watched the later ones, but all the early. seasons, I watched all of them, and I was invested in every last one of the real
Hmm.
world ones. Yeah, so
So, so I would say, even though 10 years seem like a long time, it's still, in reality TV, I still consider it not at its infancy, but still like, new, I guess. And so at that time, like you said, we had, you know, everybody was trying to one up each other. Like I
mm,
didn't catch on until watching the doc, but I used to see the
mhm,
word, the name Ken Mock, but then when they was like, oh, he also is responsible for making the band, and then we saw the things they was doing on there. So
mhm,
it's at the time it was fascinating and was entertaining. Um, but also at the same time, you can't really excuse all of the things that was being done, right?
right.
Because people say, oh, it was a different time. Yes, it was a different time. But for instance, like slavery was a different time. That didn't mean that it was right
Yeah,
then,
right, right, right,
even though
right.
still it was acceptable. So like I said, I'm kind of torn. It's like 50-50, because it was a product of the era, but
Mm.
they were
Yeah,
definitely wrong
this
on a
is
lot of
Kim Knock guy
ways.
you talking about. Kim, that's him right there.
Yeah.
Even
Mhm.
the executive producer, along with
Yeah.
Tyra. Yeah. Hmm.
Mhm. So, yeah, like I
Yeah.
said, I'm 50-50 on it.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. I'm 50-50 as well. Because just because it was a crazy time. Because you're right. I watched the real world from the first one. Um with Heather B and all them, and they was arguing in the house, the very, very first one. And then I watched this, all the seasons. Oh, mostly all the majority of the seasons till it got later, and then I was probably fell off from it then. But I watched all them shows. I watched Flavor Love, I Love New York, you name it. I was watching all of it. I was heavy in the reality shows at that time. They were juicy, and they were outrageous, and they people did a lot of crazy things, and they had the competition shows. Now I didn't watch all of those, but the ones that like people eating rats and bugs and all kind of stupid stuff like Survivor and all them shows, people were doing that. Everybody kept trying to one up themselves. So the documentary talked about that at the very, very beginning, and Tyra is right about that. But I'm with you on the 50-50 part, because just because we were able to get away with some of that stuff back then, that doesn't mean that, like, I just felt like they didn't take no responsibility, no accountability, not yeah, but well, responsibility too, but no accountability, and just say, look, we messed up. We messed up, I don't, I know, and some people say we being, I've heard different, I've listened to a lot of different people's opinions on this documentary. And some people said we're being too harsh on Tyra, and the other judges and everybody. And then some people saying no, no, she's trash or whatever. What I mean, people use all kinds of different things about her. I'm not calling the lady trash, but I know that I feel she took no accountability. All she do is say I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? She didn't do any of that in this documentary. No, no, I'm sorry, and or um anything. She just seemed kind of. I mean, what would you thought her opinion when she was talking?
Okay, so the first I had to watch. Well, I watched this twice. So the first watch, I was like, I feel like I was equally as outraged as everyone. And then honestly, the second watch, I found myself giving her a little more slack because, normally when you watch something at first, it's just like you just all, in your feelings and you're emotional and you're like, oh my God. Because yes, we were there in real time watching it. But
Mhm.
when you piece all of it together in one, and you're watching like one sitting of the documentary, what it is like, not, oh, how many, 3 hours? it's like you're taken aback, even though we were all there in real time.
Mm-hmm.
But I
I'm with
gave her a
you.
little
I think
more.
I'm on the same page with you. I think I understand where you about to go.
Yeah, it's like
Mhm.
I was like, well, I'm not giving her as much heck and flack as I did the second time,
Oh, the
just
first time I
rewatching
wanted to
it.
jump through the TV and slap her. No, no, I'm being
Yeah.
funny. I ain't want to slap. I ain't want. I don't mean that. But I was like, what the hell? That's how you say that to you look at your own
Yeah.
TV and say, what the hell?
Like,
That's
come get these hands, Tyra. Come on.
right. But I still think she should say, I'm sorry. Even now, it's not too late. She could do a put out a statement through her publicist or something and say, look, I had time to reflect. I wish I would have said this in the documentary. I'm so sorry for the girls, the young ladies, grown women now that had bad experiences. I didn't mean any harm. Blah blah blah. She could say in some kind of nice, dressed up way. She was just like, yeah, it is what it. She didn't say what I'm saying, but it basically like, yeah, it is what it is, and it was what it was, and moving on. I don't know. I agree with you, but I still think she should take some kind of accountability. There's some kind of I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think that's what we all would like,
She
and a
was real
part of
flat
me.
right here. She was just real flat the whole time she talked. People talked about the fact she had the khaki jacket on, the trench coat. Her makeup was real bland. Which that's people who nitpicking little things. But I heard they
Yeah.
said everything about her seemed like she wasn't there, like she was zoned out.
Yeah, it does give like, Tyra, are you home? Like, where's the teacup? And then like she was,
Yeah, yeah,
you know,
yeah.
in a sunken place a little bit. Like it just seems like she was just there was no sincerity. It's weird. Like I don't want to call her soulless, but it just seems like she just I don't know, just wasn't really present.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you. Sometimes I can't get my words together, but thank you. That's exactly what I just seemed like everything. Like she forced? Did somebody have a gun to her head? Like, you better say this or something. I don't know. Hey, Letitia. And I want to highlight what she said. Tyra gave us absolutely nothing in this document. Yeah, that's what I felt. I did look at it like, okay, the first time I was outraged. Well, I was like, what the hell? What are you doing? And I can't believe, even when I watched it on my own, like I told you, I watched it back in maybe I said January. I was watching on the episodes on Hulu. Even I was sitting there saying, dang, I can't believe we let this stuff slide. But a lot of stuff we did back in the days, I do understand that you can't do now. And we're more sensitive now. Not me, but a lot of people are more sensitive now. So things you can't say and things you can't do, now. But it was, I don't know. I just wanted her to say, I'm sorry. It was just not, you can't go back and change the past. I just wanted to say, I'm sorry.
yeah, I definitely would have liked to see her more apologetic. And a part of me was like, dang, like fake it till you make it, girl. Act like you know what I'm saying? A lot of us. I
Right.
mean, I do appreciate, if that's how she felt. She was kept it real and not put on a show. But on some level, I'm like she just seemed like she played like either stupid in certain situations or like she didn't remember. Like I was like, girl, like it was given like, and I hate to say this because I don't want to put anything on her, but it's like she was under the influence. Like, girl, you done took some happy pills or what? Like, what's going on? Like, she just didn't seem fully present. I don't know, just very odd.
Look at this comment here. Like Kana said, she did everything they said she did. That's right.
Yes,
Whatever they say Ghost
she did
did,
that.
he
She
did
did
that.
that.
And that's something that she did. Yeah, right. So, oh man. Yeah, she was dead in the eyes. Like all the text. Yeah, it was. I agree with this. I agree. So I thought it was just me. So I said, let me talk to other people because sometimes I change my mind when I talk to y'all and everybody in the chat, and then y'all make me think different. But I think we all on the same page. Very nonchalant, Miss Nisi. Hey, Miss Nisi, very nonchalant. I did not like that. I didn't like it. She claimed she was trying to change the industry or how the industry thought of models, women. Um, so she won, so her intentions, I guess, was good at the beginning. if that was her thought process to try to change the industry. Her intentions was good. I think the modeling industry changed a little bit. I still think it got probably a long way to go, but I think they have changed because we do see more people of ethnic groups and whatnot modeling than we used to see way back in the day. So, um, yeah, everyone had emotions but her. Well, her and Kim Mock. Kim Mock didn't have no. He was, it was he has no. I don't expect nothing from him, from Ken Mock.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Asian
don't either.
man, he's not attached to our community or nothing. And it wasn't even our community because it was stuff that happened to white women too. But I'm
Yeah.
mostly about the stuff with the black women that's really, you
Yeah.
know, I expect
Yeah.
Tyra to have stepped up and be more
Yeah.
for, for the black girls. But sometimes she was hard, she was hard on them.
Yeah, and I can't even say that the other panelists had. I would say the other panelists had emotions, but it was more so towards Tyra and negative feelings towards Tyra versus really about the things that happened on the show. Yeah, we had Jay Manuel talk about certain things, but I honestly feel like he was down with the program. You know what I'm saying? At least he did seem like he was a little reflective on things, but he had smoke for Tyra because of their personal and professional
Yeah,
thing.
right, right.
Nigel,
So,
he was down with it too.
well, wait
Everybody
a
seemed
minute,
like they had smoke.
but didn't J. Manuel, the one with the blonde hair,
Uh-huh.
then didn't he get some regret when they had to do the blackface and all the other stuff on the girls? I think that's when the
Yeah,
tide started changing, right? That's when things started changing.
yeah, that's what he said, and he said, and the thing that threw me off. And don't get me wrong, I know lawyers and everybody can be, intimidating. But I believe he said it was cycle 8 or 9 that he was asked to come back for. But then they continued, and he stayed pretty much 10 more cycles. So it was like, okay, so
Well,
I'm
um,
confused.
yeah, he wanted to leave, and he wrote Tyra a email
Yeah,
and directly because he said they made a pact because they was friends from before there was even a top model.
yeah,
She was doing her thing. She was friends with him, and she was real good friends with Miss Miss J. His name is Jay Alexander, but they call him Miss
mhm,
J. And because he's the one who taught all the girls how to walk, you know what I mean,
yes,
from way back in the day. So, and I mean, the brother can walk his tail off. I mean, he got legs.
uh-huh.
Look,
For years.
he natural born women, and he got legs better than us. Okay, he got some
Yeah,
legs. I ain't gonna lie, he got the legs. I can't take that from him. So,
yeah.
but anyway, I think they were hurt with her more than anything.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't
Yeah,
really outrage of what was
because it was
going
their
on in
personal
terms of the
relationship
show.
got tore
More
up.
so,
Yeah,
uh, it was just they were really mad at their personal relationship with Tyra. I mean, they were professional things too, but they were more hurt personally.
right.
And it seems like it was like a I hate Tyra train on and recurrent when it comes to the actual panelists. You know what I'm saying? So it was like I get it, on some level, but the viewers outrage for me specifically, it was more so what was going on with the show and the girls, not no more so what the relationship with Tyra was doing with her friend slash co-worker slash panelist. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
Letitia agreeing with you. See that they only acting self righteous now because the mean girl, which is Tyra, turned on them. They were cool when they were all mean girling to right along with her together.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
Nigel, I don't know if he wanted sympathy or not, but he
I
was
think he
like,
just fall in
yeah,
love with the program. He fall in love with the two J.
yeah.
That's
And
what
then
I
he
think. I think he just fall in love with the two J.
and then he was like, well, after 20 or so years, I grew up with the show in my family and I didn't have any nothing
He
lined
said,
up.
I
I
got
didn't
two
have any.
daughters. I got two teenage daughters.
Yeah. But I'm like,
I mean,
that's on you because at the end of the day, nothing lasts forever. So why that's on you. You didn't have a backup plan after 10, 15 years. You know what I'm saying? I can't feel bad for that. Now,
well,
how they did it was wrong, but I
yeah, but
can't.
come on, backup plan. He's a professional photographer. He has done a lot of he what anybody feeling sorry for him. Like as far as like not having no job or something like that. He's a professional photographer. He's still doing pictures for celebrities and stuff to this day.
Exactly. That's the only thing I just like, okay, now y'all, I can't be feeling bad for every little thing now. That's what it's like. They were trying to pile on things.
Yeah. Now, why you think Janice Dickinson? Because she was a real bitch, but that was her job to be the you know
The
to
Simon
be.
Cowell of it all. Yeah.
Yeah, she was the Simon Cowell of the show. So like how Simon Cowell on American Idol used to say, "You stink, you can't sing and all that." That was her job. Oh, you need to get your teeth fixed, your hair ain't right, your feet too big. She tore the girls down to the ground. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that was her job. That's what they hired her for. Why you
Exactly.
think? Yeah, she keeps saying she was the first supermodel. What I don't know. I ain't do no research to see if that was true or not. But she been saying that for years. She called herself the first supermodel. I don't know if anybody ever really coined her that. I don't know.
Yeah, it was
But
before my time, so I can't confirm.
I mean, and plus she ain't nobody I would do no research on, so I ain't really care. You know what I mean? I ain't never go and Google it and look it up or nothing. Um, I know one thing. I ain't trying to talk about nobody, but she did too much with the plastic surgery. Like that lady, her whole. When I saw some pictures of her when she was young, she was a pretty lady. I don't know. She just tore her whole face up now with the plastic surgery. She don't even look like herself now. So,
Yeah.
um, but anyway, why you think she wasn't in this documentary?
I honestly do not know. Because from my understanding, I said Tasha, Lord Jesus, I'm giving her a whole new name. Tyra was not necessarily, you know, the one spearheading this documentary. So I don't know. It could be a number of things. Could have been contract. It could have been, I heard that Janice may be a part of a different documentary that's being
Yeah, that's right.
released.
There's one coming out on E channel or something. I think the
Yeah.
E
So
channel one of it's another top model doc coming out, and she's
yeah.
supposed to be in
So
that.
it could be a number of things. Honestly, I don't know.
So it could be a money thing, like she's already contracted with the other doc, and so maybe she couldn't talk on this one because she's already got paid for that one. So it might have been a money thing. But yeah, she does have something that she can't be talking nasty because she was disgusting. I agree with Miss Nisi too and Letitia. She was disgusting. Like to
Yeah.
me, she was worse than Simon Cowell because even though Simon Cowell, I used to watch the early American Idol days, with
Me too.
Fantasia and
Hmm.
Ruben and stuff. But at least when he did like you, like he loved Fantasia and he loved Ruben back in those days, Kelly Clarkson and all them. So when he liked you and you were good, and he also liked Jennifer Hudson. When you're good, he would praise you. This girl never praised nobody. She was always tearing down everybody. Did
Yeah, I
not.
saw they showed one clip of her loving, one of Shanti's photo shoots. But I mean, so it could have been she may have had positive times, but it wasn't enough for us to really remember.
Right.
But she was just outrageous, like how we was saying. That's what the entertainment value was. She did her job. Yes, I felt like she was miserable and was harsh, but it was acceptable at some point because we kept tuning in and they kept creating new seasons. So,
True. That's true.
it is what it is.
It did get my views. I watched it. That is true. Um, let's see. Yeah, he said I taught the girls how to walk, and now I can't walk. So unfortunately, he had a stroke back in 2022. And because I had wondered why we hadn't seen him in a long time. Because when I saw him, I said, "Oh, why I ain't seen him in a long time?" And hey, the homie, what's going on? Um, uh, and I noticed, we hadn't seen him for at least I hadn't seen him. I wasn't looking for him either, but I hadn't seen him on the scene or nothing, and not knowing he had a stroke, so I was shocked. Did you notice before watching this doc that he had a stroke?
No clue whatsoever.
Yeah, yeah,
No
me,
clue.
but no, because I just wasn't seeing him, and I wasn't like searching to find out where he was. I like him though. I never had no issues. But as people out of sight, out of mind. You just, you know,
Exactly.
yeah. I just assumed he was living his life like it's golden, and I wasn't paying no attention. So he had a stroke, but I kind of had a feeling something was wrong because the way he was talking, I said, I wonder if he's sick. And then bam, they say he had a stroke. Um, uh, oh, you okay? This is about Janice. They talking about Janice. So she talked about them girls' weight. Everybody can't be a size 2. I know, I know, I know. Yeah, Janice loved the girls that was very like frail and skeletal, bony, like
Yeah, I
And
think she was giving us, or if the girls, a glimpse of probably what went on in real life. And I feel like it was probably even more harsher in the 60s and 70s or whenever, she was popular. So I feel like she was trying to give us a taste, but at the same time, as humans, we feel empathetic, like, ooh, that's a little too much, because it also, paints this narrative, um, because young impressionable girls are watching this. So, we tend to internalize, what we see on TV. So the fact that she's telling these girls who are already model thin that they're fat, how does that translate to the average 14-year-old girl that's watching it? So I do feel like there was a responsibility, but at the
right.
same time, it's a fine line because is a show at the end of the day. Is a
Yeah,
competition show.
yeah, it
They're
is
in
a
it for
show.
money and ratings.
Yeah, that's true. I guess she's
Yeah.
not trying to be a what's the word I'm looking for? Like she's not a therapist or someone who somebody is their responsibility to make sure they giving you the right information or the comfort or whatever it is. I guess I'm trying to say it's a TV show. They was trying to have ratings. So just like with all them other shows and documentary, I mean not documentaries, all these other reality shows we have out that we've had over the many years, the more outrageous, the more that's what she wanted. So that, and she even made a mention. Tyra made a mention in here that um y'all wanted more crazy. We gave y'all more crazy,
Hmm.
or something like that. I might be paraphrasing how she said it, um, but anyway, yeah, everybody came. Have most everybody, the guys anyway, came to visit Jay Alexander while he was in the hospital. He was in the hospital for like a year and a half or something. He said I was listening to him on Sherry Shepherd show. For like a year and a half, he was in there. He was in a coma for a long time. Sound like he went through it, in rehab and everything. So now, at this point now, because they taped this like a year ago. So at this point now, he's able to walk a little bit, but he's, still going through his struggles. But he's, at least he's able to, I guess, get up and walk a little bit or whatever. So,
Yeah. It broke my heart. I'm not even gonna
it
lie.
did. No, that part, I teared up. No,
Yeah.
I teared up on that. I really, really teared up on that. Now, why you think yeah, this was him in the hospital. Why do you think Tyra, she sent him a text? He even said it on Sherry Shepherd, and he said in the documentary that Tyra texted him and said, I guess she texted him at some point, but to this day, and now we in 2026, and she still to this day has not yet come to see him. He was named on Sherry Shepherd show. He was naming Angela Bassett came to see me, Niecy Nash, all these people that he was naming,
Yeah.
name dropping people. Look, Jesus Christ, everybody came to see him, but Tyra had, I guess she's too busy.
Yeah, you would think like, dang, this was, not saying she hasn't worked hard on her own, because I feel like she had paved the way, but like you say, he taught all the girls, how to walk on the show. He taught Tyra how to walk. So I feel like when someone contributes to your overall success, you have to pay them the utmost respect. And just as like a human decency level, like, you would think at the very least a FaceTime call or something, let me see your face.
He
So
he met
I
her
don't know.
at
I feel like,
17. She was
yeah,
17 and he taught her how to walk the runway. So she might
yeah.
not be the Tyra Banks we know if it wasn't for this man. So you do owe him some, even if it's number of flowers and a face. Now I know they say she lives in Australia. Okay, so that's a long way to travel to come see somebody in New York at the hospital. But however, she could at least send a FaceTime, a Zoom or something, some kind of
Yeah,
thing. Somebody, she could have
like
had somebody set up the laptop in his room so he could wave to her.
exactly. Like she's been in America. Like
And she's been here in America. She's been
didn't
here.
she walk in the Victoria's Secret fashion show last year or the and within the past couple of years? Like she has had time. You know what I'm saying? But
She
people
was
make
here in
time for what they
DC
feel
not
is
that long
important.
ago. She was here in DC not that long ago. She had an ice cream shop here in DC, and then well that went belly up because the man is suing her to this day saying she ain't paid the rent. So I don't know. I don't know all of that, but it was on the news here in our area that the man she was renting a little spot from to have her little ice cream store was suing her for not paying the rent. So she been here in the States. And okay, they said her mother still live here in the States. So
Yeah, I don't know what that's about because I
so she's been here and you got plenty of money. It's not like you and I gotta scrape up our money and save our checks to get to get the airplane ticket. No, she can get on the plane and get here. Come on now. I
yeah, I
ain't
mean
buying it. I'm not buying
yeah,
it.
we can't tell what the issue is. I will, we would like to say, anybody would think to visit, but I don't know. It could be she may feel guilty by how things ended with them, or, but at the same time, she seems just so out of it. So who knows if she even feel any sort of emotion or guilt at all. But I
Right.
don't know. It's hard. We can't really speak on,
I mean, look,
why that is,
we
but
just
I
speculating.
feel
We
like
don't
she
know.
does owe him more than that.
Yeah, we don't know anything. We just speculate. We don't really know anything. This is just our opinions. Like I said, like scrolling down here at the bottom, hashtag we don't know these people. You know what I'm saying? So we just giving our opinion. I don't really know, but I would just think that if somebody who would have been down with me for all this time, I would think they would come see me. But then that's why I said it's something that and remember now, she didn't want to speak on the other Jay's relationship, Jay Manuel. When they asked her about it in the documentary, she says, "No, I'm not speaking on that. I'd rather talk to him on the phone." And she still ain't talked to him either. So it must be something deep between these two Jays and Tyra. Is the why she's
Yeah.
communicating with them.
And Jay
Something must.
Manuel pretty much wrote a whole book about his relationship with Tyra. So who knows,
Oh, for
what's
real?
in that book. Remember that the novel he wrote, he pretty much wrote about his
Oh,
experience with top models. So I
oh,
don't know
she
if you
ain't
wrote a
talking
book
to him.
about me and had some ish to say.
No, she ain't
Who
talking about me.
knows?
No, she not talking. Yeah, so Miss J knows deep down that Tyra ain't coming. Right, right. Hey, Lawrence, what's going on? Um, yeah, she has the money to travel. Um, and if done during the New York Fashion Week, she could come to see him. Yeah, right. If she was here during that time, yeah. Even this documentary was done in the States, so she had time since 2022. She not thinking about. See what I'm saying?
It's ways to handle things, right? Like when we try to show up or want to show up for people we love, we do what we
mm,
can. So let's say she never saw him or went to see him. If I'm in that situation, if I have a home girl in California that went through
mm,
something, and if I can't afford or don't have the time to see her, if I can't see you physically, oh, I'm checking on you every week. You know what I'm saying? I'm making an effort
right.
to let you see, hey, I'm here and I care about you, and I'm gonna show up in spirit. If anything else, if I can't be with you physically, you know?
Right. Right. That's right. I mean, because everybody got a phone. So you can't tell me you can't FaceTime or text or something. Just something. Or what about somebody in Jay's family, friends or something that you can contact him to see how he's doing? Like I'm
Yeah.
just not buying it. And then the homie says she's worth $90 million. She can get on Delta. Look, she can get a private plane and get over here. Okay,
And not
so
even and yeah, putting money into it if that's a way you can show like because I can't judge, but it seems like he's kind of on hard times, just living in that room or whatever. So
yeah. We
help
don't
a
know
brother
his
out a little bit.
financial situation. Yeah, we don't know his financial situation. So Imagine being in the hospital for over a year and a half of rehab and all of that. That's very expensive. So I
Exactly.
don't know his financial, situation. So I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, and this is so right. When you hit rock bottom, you really see who care about you, and that
Yeah.
applies to family too. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
some of them can be turn out to be trash too. This is yikes. Everyone turned on Tyra. I mean, I don't know. Um, mm, mm, mm. Oh, say, he knows Tyra's deep dark secrets don't want to be exposed. I don't know about that. That book was crazy. It was oh, okay. I didn't even know about the book. Okay. Oh, I remember. I don't remember. They probably mentioned it in the documentary. I guess
Yeah, they mentioned it. Yeah, a few
Oh, well, she
times.
ain't talking to him then. No, she ain't talking to him. I'm talking about the other Jay. She ain't talking to him. Hey, Mo 69, what's going on, girl? Um, mm. Oh, and he had a GoFundMe, so his funds that must not be all that great. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So that's even
Hmm.
more reason Tyler could have slid a little $10,000 in his thing or something like that to help take care of a medical bill. Because you know the
Exactly.
bills in the hospital rack up. You can go to the
Yeah.
ER just for one night in the ER, and you end up got thousands of dollars a bill. You know what I'm saying?
And people
So
in show business don't have a, quote unquote 9 to 5 where they can have an employer plan and all that stuff, So
no,
I feel
he's a
like you can,
contractor. He worked for
yeah.
hire. You know. So
So I feel
I
like,
feel really bad for him. I really did.
yeah,
That's when I cried. I mean, tears was in my eyes for him. So I wish
yeah, it
him the
was,
best.
yeah, it was when he said that, I taught the girls how to walk and I can't walk. Yeah, that took me out. That's
That
when I
took
was like,
me
all
out.
right, my
That took
tear
me out.
ducts, my tear
Yeah,
ducts, sir, please stop.
yeah. They just
It's
fell
too
on
much.
down. They just fell on down. They just fell down.
But I
Now
do
I
love, oh, sorry.
oh no, go ahead. You love one.
I want to say I do love how Nigel and the other Jays showed up for him. That felt good though. How they went to go visit him and they're still in a good rapport. So I do
Oh
love
yes,
he does. I do
yes.
love that.
I do too. I do too. And I agree, Monique. She's not obligated. I mean, hell, nobody obligated to do nothing. But I mean, but she could at least call, even if you
Mm,
didn't fly to see him or nothing. Like you seem like her issue is really with Jay Manuel. But then again, we don't know with her and Miss J. We it's still some holes. It's like Swiss cheese. There's some holes in this
hmm.
story. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So we might need a part two or something. So because we need some
she
more
is
information.
just how Bro Rilla says. Yeah, she obligated.
Bro, really, I know that thing tore, Lord, that thing cracked me up every time I hear that. Bro, really, Lord have mercy. Now this was the scene when this was on season 4 when they was doing the the blackface and the changing of the races. Like had one girl would be Native American, one girl would be Asian, another girl would be African American. Like putting it was never a good idea. I don't care if it was the 99 2000s, whatever it was never a good idea to do blackface.
Yeah,
So that was just crazy. Even to be a Native American, that's still not right. Just like Halloween, I hate when I see people dress up as try to be a Native American or Indian. You know what I mean? Stop
mhm,
it. That's not cute. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like, what did you think about this? Was you sickened by this, or how do you feel about
Yeah, when I think back to I was probably 20 or so when this happened. I was,
it? Mm,
between high school and college. So honestly, I don't feel I had a lot of outrage per se, but it was a little off-putting to me. But at the same time, it was the world of shocking reality TV. So
mm.
I think I felt it more entertaining than appalling because at 20, I'm not in my self-righteous bag. You know what I'm saying? I'm, here for good TV like everybody else. So of
Right,
course, when I reflect as a 40-something year old woman now, I was like, ooh, that's
that's
very
true.
cringy.
because the more trashy it was, the more I was watching it back then. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly,
Flavor of
exactly.
Love and I Love New York and all them crazy.
Yeah.
The more crazy it was, I was watching it.
So
So you
yeah,
right,
I'm just
you
being
right.
honest. Like I don't think I had a lot of outrage, honestly.
Yeah, back then, Miss Niecy, I was not offended because I was, I was still a grown woman, but I was younger than I am now, and I didn't. I don't know. I probably said that it wasn't right, but I just kept watching it, eating my popcorn and watching it,
Yeah,
But
because this is the
now watching it as I'm 54, and I'm like, come on, y'all. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, because I'm sure that's something I've never seen before at that time. So it was like intriguing and yet shocking and interesting. And, so I don't know. I could have felt a way, but I can't go back 25 years to tap into my 20-something-year-old self. But I can imagine just being 20 and like, oh, child, this is a lot, but I'm glued in, I didn't write nobody no letters and telling them they needed to get it off the TV. So, you
No, no,
know,
I
I,
didn't.
I
No, no,
think
I
we all
didn't
were
do that.
probably in the same place.
Yeah, and I always knew blackface wasn't right. I mean, I was always raised to. I read my history and my family taught me my history. I've always known the history of blackface was deplorable. Because it was to make a mockery of black people. You know what I'm saying? So I understand, but I guess I wasn't looking at it like that when they was doing this show. Even though I know about the
Yeah.
history of blackface, I guess I wasn't looking at it. I was looking at it like TYRA tried to put it to us. It was high fashion. I was
Yes.
looking, yeah. So I
e-
wasn't there. Now I
ex-
look at it differently now, but
exactly. Because that's the thing. That's part of it too. This show tapped into something we don't know about. We didn't. I mean, if you're wearing a model, you didn't know what they would do back then in that industry. So who's to say like this didn't happen? So, and I also think blackface is all about. It's wrong regardless, but I feel like since this was it's about intention, right? So we seen several girls change their race, not just white to black. We saw, other things. So I felt like in the grand scheme of things, it didn't feel like it was degrading because we didn't know about this industry. It was entertaining, and then it was so many different other races involved too.
right.
And I'm just speaking
Yeah,
for myself.
they
Like that's
had
what I'm
one
thinking.
they had
Hmm.
one girl be Asian, another girl
Hmm.
be a Native American. It was just several different things.
Yeah, it was a lot.
It definitely, yeah, it was. And now, like you said, that's why I was saying that was why I was saying the first thing I said to you. Are we being too harsh because we're looking at it through 2026 lenses
Hmm.
versus whether it was 2002 or something? Somebody said.
Hmm.
Um, so I still don't think it's right, no matter
No, it's
what.
not.
But
It's
yeah,
not.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
Because we didn't. I don't think we were outraged back then. At least I don't remember. I don't remember the outrage. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have social media. It wasn't no social media. Remember now, y'all. It was no social media. If you wanted to complain, you got to write. You got to get a pencil and a pen and a piece of paper with it, and write a letter and mail it to the television studios and complain. There was no, you know, going online and blowing up nobody's social media page like we can do now. So,
Mm-mm.
um, but the girls said they didn't want to do it back then, but they was pressed to win this competition, and so they did what they was told to do. And
Yeah.
then also, Jay Manuel, he's saying that he knew then they was taking it too far, but he stayed on longer after that, a little bit longer
Mm-hmm.
after that. So yeah, because this was cycle 4, he was there until at least almost 10, I think. So um so I'm
Yeah,
not
past. Yeah, because I
outraged.
think he said at cycle 8 or 9, he wanted to leave. They asked for one more cycle, and then he stayed for about 10 more cycles. So he stuck around for 80% of the seasons. Again, we don't know the things he was faced with because I do feel like the industry can back you up into a wall. But at some point, I don't know. It's like I don't know. I just feel like with Jay Manuel, he really was trying to pull on our heartstrings and make us feel bad for him. And don't get me wrong, on first watch, I was feeling the way because everybody was, pointing at Tyra. But at the second watch, I was like, "Sir, I'm
Wait a
sorry,
minute.
I can't."
Cycle 18. He stayed that long?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was there. I did the math, and he stated, that was this. Yeah, it was about that. Yeah,
Oh, but see, then
exactly. See.
I ain't yeah, come on now, brother. He's sitting there talking. He
Yep.
was trying to
See
make
what I'm
himself out to
saying?
be he was making himself out to be the victim
Uh huh.
in here.
That's
I'm
why
not
I'm.
necessarily saying I'm feeling I really think that okay, let me go back to these judges again. I think all of them have some responsibility too. Just
Yeah.
as long as Kim Monk and Tyra. They all should say, I'm sorry for what they did. You know, well, they well, not Janice, but the guys, they're saying sort of like sorry, but they all still dumping it all on Tyra. So
Yeah. They
um
all was cool until they got fired. It's seemingly though. I mean, yes, Jay.
and did we
He
ever find out the reason of the firing? Did we ever find out what the real
Well,
reason?
according to Tyra, she said the big wigs was like, "Oh, they want to switch it up," and that's when she stated that she had to let those three guys go, and it was agreed upon apparently that they were going to go out, and release a statement and everything, but they stated that that didn't happen. Um, it was just a leak on page 6 stating they got fired. So that's why Jay Manuel was like, "Oh, I'm feeling away because." You didn't allow us to go out with our dignity, and gracefully bow out. You pretty much were saying we got fired. And that could potentially make it hard for them to find other work. But like I said, it's show business. So it's like, it's one of those things, but it did seem like Tyra was cold, specifically to Jay Manuel, when he voiced
Mhm.
that he wanted to leave. Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, and Monique said, I didn't feel bad for Jay Manuel, but I feel bad for his cheeks. Like his that
I
plan. What
don't.
do you think about his plastic surgery? I
I
mean,
don't
like
feel bad for them cheeks. Them cheeks don't know they cheeks anymore. Them things so
I
rock
said,
hard and
God,
frozen,
I said
child.
he did a lot with the plastic surgery.
Yeah, he
Wait a
he
minute,
was a
let me look
right.
at him. Let me look at him real close, like his nose and everything.
Yeah, he was a pretty man back then, but he just
He's
it
did even
looks.
more since that because I saw him on Sherry Shepherd's show, and I'm like, oh, he's done a lot of work. He's done a lot of work. So
Yeah.
um, yeah, and Janice, she ain't have no remorse either. Um,
No.
yeah, and the homie's right. Toward the end, they end up firing Tyra too. That was the head of the networks did that, and the head of the network probably told Tyra to fire the guys. Um, maybe
Yeah,
because
that's
to
what she
save
said.
money. Yeah,
Hmm.
to save money. But I think that what they were upset because she didn't come to them and have a conversation with them. Like I'm your friend. Why can't you just come in? We sat down and talked. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
Even if I'm still gonna get fired, just come to me. I think she just like they found out in the like when everybody else found out. I think.
yeah, I just think this situation is probably one of those things of perspective, perspective, because Tyra is privy to more conversations with the big wigs than the panel. So I could believe they presented her with the situation that she had her hands were tied. She, at the end of the day, Tyra had a lot of responsibility, but she also had to answer to people as well. So
Yeah,
I
she
can
didn't own
see,
the show. She created it. It was her idea, but she
yeah,
didn't own the show. Wasn't she?
exactly.
Yeah, she
So
didn't own the show.
So I could see a situation where she, is given instructions and had to act upon them, and them probably thinking like, no, this is like how we say, no, this is your show. You got decisions that you can make in your own, and she probably can't. So, like I said, I feel like it may be a thing of perspective. Now they could be right. It could be something where she wanted to fire them, but it's one of those we probably would never find out because Tyra
Yeah,
did say like she felt that they think that it was all her, and she said it's
right,
not true. So
right.
the executives are not going to come out with the real story. So it's one of
Mhm.
those is his and hers, like the show we watched. It was his and hers
Right, right.
story.
You're right. Yes. Well, Letitia ain't feeling it for nobody because she said these folks are opportunists, and they riding the wave of this documentary. So,
Especially
um,
Jay. I believe that.
she's not
Mhm.
feeling it for any of them. So no matter, yeah. Well, now which Jay? You mean Manuel?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
Manuel. Yeah, I didn't feel that with Jay Alexander for some reason.
No, I felt his story was definitely coming from a real place. I didn't feel anything. Now, don't get me wrong. I also want to mention he had a lot of words for the girls too on
He
that
did.
panel.
He needs to talk about them. Yeah, he sure did. He
So I'm
sure
gonna hold
did.
him accountable for that.
I just watched the first three seasons, say back in January, before the documentary had even dropped. It's on Hulu. Speaking of that, when I said is all the seasons are on Hulu, the only one you won't find on Hulu is the one about the race thing. They took that episode off. It's not on there. It's on. I think it's like season 4 or whatever it is. It's not on there because I
Mm,
looked for it. Because I said, and it because it go from like 1, 2, 3. It's skip like 4 or 5, and then pick like 1 or 2 episodes they took off. So the ones that's real grotesque, I guess they took off. No only I didn't get pictures of this, but what you think about the cycle when they were doing the scenes where the girls were like crime scene, like they was murdered. I ain't like
yeah,
that. I ain't
yeah,
like
that
that.
was weird. I remember watching that in real time. Um, it was cringy. It was one of those things where they were just trying to one up on themselves. They were just trying to find the next big outrageous thing to do. Because they did a lot of like fugazi things.
But that was
um,
crazy because one girl said her mother was paralyzed from a domestic violence situation, and they
mhm.
showed the mother in the wheelchair. She had been gunned down, and then they had her do a scene similar to that, a
Yeah,
photo
that
shoot
was
similar to that.
that was very insensitive, and because and how I think she had a great perspective on it because they know all their business upon applying for the show, so they knew that information, and she said that she felt that they was trying to bait a whole scene and storyline out of it, but she wasn't going to give them that, and I'm proud of her for that because that's what they wanted. It seemed easily that's what they was looking for, and I'm glad she held it down because that was some BS. Because that could have been very triggering.
Yes,
And I'm
yeah. I mean,
sure it
there's
was,
one
but
girl who was shot in the forehead and all that. And I mean, they made it look like she was shot in the head and all that.
yeah,
I was like, that was a bit much. That
yeah,
was a bit much. And yeah, Kenya Barris was one of the producers or something
yeah.
on there. Yeah, he
He
was like,
was.
yeah. So why wasn't he in the doc? Well, what's his perspective, whether good
I
or bad? Why he wasn't talking?
I
So
questioned that too. Someone did mention that and something else I watched, and they stated that he has something going on with Netflix.
oh yeah,
I don't
he
know if
do.
it's
He got a deal with Netflix. He does.
yes.
Yeah, yeah.
So that
Mhm.
probably was one of those
He
things,
signed a deal with Netflix a while ago after he left ABC after Blackish and all that. He signed
Yeah,
some
he
kind
had a show on Netflix. Of course, that was a while back, but yeah, that's what they're saying. Supposedly that's why he wasn't mentioned because he has affiliation towards Netflix, and they have to approve what they program and air. So I'm just
of.
speculating. That's one
No,
person's perspective.
that sounds plausible. He's probably still under some contract
Hmm.
for with Netflix. He could be writing for shows that we just don't even know about because I don't watch everything on Netflix. So he
Yeah,
could be writing for things that we just don't even look at or don't know about. But anyway, he's still so that's plausible. That's plausible. I don't know that allegedly. We don't know, but um, yeah. So I guess everybody got to get the smoke. As far as I'm concerned, really. Maybe
exactly.
some people get it more than others. But I think everybody should take a little responsibility. You know. Okay, she's not feeling for Jay Alexander either. She said because the GoFundMe came out after this doc drop.
Oh,
Did he exhaust all his rich friends? I don't know. Oh,
mm.
Letitia ain't feeling it for Jay. She
I didn't know that,
no,
girl.
I
All
didn't know she
right.
gave me some tea. I did not know that.
I mean, you never
Um,
know. He probably, was over there asking if, and that's the thing too. Don't get me wrong. We focusing on Tyra, but if you taught all the girls walk, you heard from any other models, they've been helping you out.
mm, I mean, that's what
I'm
I'm
just
saying. But he,
saying. I'm just
I mean,
saying.
he was on Sherry Shepherd talking about DC Nash and Angela Bass and all the. He mentioned some other people came to see him in the hospital. I mean, so I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. Who knows?
But everybody remember this.
Hmm.
We were all ready for you. We were
I,
all ready for you.
I say that at least once a month.
Yes, that meme is. Look, I hate to make fun of the lady, the young lady. She's a grown woman now, Tiffany.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
that that was. I remember when I went back to rewatch the episode, and I had to rewind it a couple times. That was just because she was on there twice.
Yeah.
She had gotten on one time, and she didn't make the cut all the way. She didn't get that far. They cut her right at the beginning. That was on like I think the second or third season or whatever. Then she came back again. Tyra brought her back for like the fourth season or whatever it was. And so I don't know, but do you think it was right the way Tyra screamed at her?
Now,
This will be talking about Tiffany.
as a
Yeah.
viewer and looking at it 20 years ago, I don't think I was mad. I think I had my mindset more so.
You probably laugh. Knowing you, you probably laugh when you saw
No, I don't think I laughed. I think I could feel Tyra's point of view more so because she was coming from the angle. Now, this is from me thinking about why she's frustrated. Like, hey, we pretty much allowed you to come back. This is something I don't think they ever did before. They was definitely trying to, they was trying to, let her win. They was trying to get her to win. And, she kind of was nonchalant about the whole situation. And it's one of those, like, as a parent, and you give your child something, or they just act ungrateful, like they just like whatever, like excuse the hell out of me. I don't work 12 hours of overtime and to get you this bike, and you over here don't want this bike. It's one of those
Mhm,
things. But that's
mhm,
how I felt
mhm.
Tyra was feeling when in regards to Tiffany. Now getting more insight now, and they're saying that, oh no, it was much worse, and she said a lot of hurtful, damaging things, and of course things we weren't privy to. So now I look at it with a different set of eyes, and so now it's like, oof, okay, this may be something, but it also may be a thing. Who knows? She probably was trying to make good TV. So, it's just, we don't know. But at that time, I don't think I was outraged either, keeping it real.
Oh yeah, I know. At the time, I wasn't outraged. No, but now I was like, ugh, damn. Now I'm watching it now. I was like, damn, she really tore another hole in her tail. You know what I'm saying? She really got into it, and like you said, like everybody's saying, they said it was far worse, according to what Tiffany's saying. Well, she done came out, and this is a tweet that she or Instagram or tweet, whatever it was that I happened to snatch from somebody. That she came out. This is from Tiffany. She said, "Hold up, at Tyra Banks. Let's keep it cute. You are one line as B. You know how you treated me the whole time, off and on camera. You was a bully. You treated me like S." And then she goes on to say, and said the nastiest things about me and my son. That is not how the argument went, but y'all edited to make it look like you cared. Also, F the shade room. I don't know how the shade room got in this, but because I didn't see it. But F the shade room. F your weird ass fans, and F you, Tyra Banks. I bet you won't sit down with me face to face and talk about it. Also, F my family too. Oh my goodness. Y'all don't ever defend me. I got more money and helping more people than wait a minute, she messed up the sentence. And many of the top models, but that's the update. But that's the update y'all give. Basically, what she said, I got more money and I help a lot of people, but y'all not putting that up out there. It's just a damn shame. It's giving y'all still hating on little black ass me at Tyra Banks hoe. Just let it go. It's been over 20 years. Like, so she ain't feeling it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh
She's
my.
yeah, she went in on her and now she deleted this post, but she has said some other things on posts since then. But I think this one was deleted, but I happened to catch it off or something. And so she's saying it was far worse. And by the way, I can't remember what year it was. It wasn't that long ago though. Her son that she mentioned in here got unalived. He was stealing. She from Miami, and
Yeah.
so her son was stealing out of a GameStop. I think he was grown though, like 20 something, 22, 23 or something. He wasn't a child. And he was stealing out of GameStop. And I guess somebody had I don't know who had the hammer, but he got unalived in the midst of all of that. So his son is gone. The son that she was talked about doing the whole show. That
Mm-hmm.
because her whole story was she come from Miami. She grew up fighting and having to take care of herself and she came up rough. She had no
Yeah.
money. Her grandma raised her. Her grandma's the one who pushed her into coming to the top model thing in the first place. So, and then now years later, I guess 20 years later, whatever, her son is gone, unalived, and so, but she's saying back then, Tyra said all these nasty things about her and her grandma and everything. So, I mean, so obviously she don't have a good experience at all about the whole thing. And,
Yeah,
and
because
that's what she looked like now. And then she also said, according to Richardson, that Tiffany Richardson, the argument was 1,000 times worse in reality. She was hesitant to elaborate. This is from some article she did. But when pressed about the details, Richardson says she recalled Banks yelling at her, "You can go back to your house or sleep on the mattress on the floor with your baby in front of all the other judges." Now that's kind of funky. I can't defend Tyra on that
yeah,
one.
because it's like that probably was information that only Tyra was privy to. They probably had, conversations offline about it. So it's embarrassing. And also, that one line, yeah, we use it, we're rooting for you. We use that just jokingly, but it's one of those things where it's probably been a 20-year, 25 years trigger for her. Like I think of, and this is not the same, but I think of how when Tina Turner was like, she felt that her story was taken as a joke with our community because we talk about Ike and Tina in a joking way. But, it was really traumatizing for her. But, it's one of those things where I just feel like it probably took a toll, because that kind of meme, it's all over the place, So she
Mhm.
probably been living with this for a very long time.
And this meme ain't never going away. This one
Mm-mm.
with we were all rooting for you.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was rooting for you. That's never going away. That's
No.
everybody still posted. I have posted it before. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's never going away.
Yeah.
Um, so then what did you think about Danielle when she goes by Danny?
Child.
And she had a gap in her teeth, and I did not think her gap was that bad at all.
No. No.
And at that time, I guess Tyra was saying, "Well, you're not going to get any jobs as a model. The industry, not going to be able to book you for jobs with a gap." And then a couple of cycles later, a white girl, she puts a gap in the girl's teeth, like made a gap in the teeth. And she
Yeah.
made Danny close her. She told her she would not be able to win or not go first. She said, "I'm gonna send you home if you don't do it." Almost like threatened her. I mean, I don't want to say the word
Yeah.
threat, but it sounded like that. If you listen to it, she said, basically, she's if you don't get this gap closed up, I'm sending you home. So
Yeah, that was humiliating, watching Tyra with that clip with her
yeah, pressured
finger
her.
in her mouth.
I don't want to say threat. Pressured her. Yeah, let me change that. They pressured her
Yeah.
to do it. Yeah.
That's the thing. You tell this African American girl, beautiful girl, that her having a gap is unmarketable and that she would not probably find work and be on the cover of CoverGirl. But then a couple years later, you exaggerate that same type of feature on a white girl. Like that's so weird and cringy. And this is probably the story where I'm like, all right, Tyra, y'all have clearly lost the plot and lost the meaning of what you said you wanted to do with creating the show. You said you wanted to help, just expand, the modeling agency and what defines beauty. So you get to a point where you're trying to put these girls back in the box of what you feel or what you think that the masses think beautiful is. So it's like at Tyra, you're very confusing at this point. You're giving contradiction, and it's like she talked about how models are all imperfect. They have that one thing that's imperfect per se. What you consider with industry would consider imperfect. But then you try to change this, and I love the fact that Danny was just so proud of her gap, and because that's
Mhm.
a big insecurity to people, and she really just relished in it, and I love that for her. So it was
Yeah,
very
but she's
heartbreaking.
beautiful. She's beautiful.
Yes, she's
She was
beautiful
beautiful with
now.
the
Like, oh
gas
my
and
gosh,
without the gas. Yeah, both ways she's beautiful. Yeah,
yeah.
I mean,
So
the
it was
older
very
she's getting, she's
frustrating.
even more beautiful to me.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
frustrating. That's what I'm like. All right, Tyra, I'm confused now. Is it beautiful or not? Because you're making two different standards with the races. Like I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, but I did not like that. Now it was another girl who was with her. Both of them went to the dentist. There was nothing wrong with Danny's teeth.
Uh-huh.
Only thing they wanted her to close the gap. And then the other white girl had jacked up teeth. It was like jack-o'-lantern teeth. It was all tore up. So
Yeah.
she was in the dock. I can't remember her
I
name.
want to say Shannon, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't remember what her name was, but she was happy about her dental work, and I can understand because she had like extra crowded teeth,
Mm-hmm.
overlapping each other. So hers was different. But first of all, you taking some, and this is one thing that I that you noticed. She said she wanted to call her family, her parents, or somebody, and she also wanted to call her lawyer, and they wouldn't let her do it. And I'm like, huh?
Who, Danny or Shannon?
No,
The white, the Caucasian
yeah,
girl?
yeah, they wouldn't let her call her
Yeah.
family. I guess she wanted to call her mom or dad or somebody, and then also her attorney or somebody. And they was like, no, you got to do it right now. If you don't do it now, you're going home.
And that's weird, right? Because Danny mentioned that she was able to talk to her mom. Because she said, she got some advice from her mom, and her mom pretty much saying, like, hey, you ain't come this far. So it was odd that you allowed Danny to talk to her mom, but not the other young lady. I don't know
Mm,
what that's about.
I don't know. Yeah, the other young lady. Okay, they said her name was Joni. That's
Joni,
the
okay,
the
I'm
white girl.
sorry.
Yeah, and yeah, her teeth was like she said it was throwing up gang
Oh
signs.
no.
Lord,
I don't want to laugh at that, Monique. Don't do that,
but
girl.
it was crazy, and she had like teeth coming out the gums and all. It was
Yeah, it was like
crazy teeth,
Snaggletooth.
and that's not her fault because sometimes people just when the teeth growing in
Yeah.
as a baby and the parents never get it looked at, it was just crazy. So it was overcrowded and all that. So, but I think that you need to go to a who's to say this man was really a great dentist or anything. He was done on television. What is
Yeah,
that's
he
when I
looked janky. He didn't look like
man,
he was official.
you look like some back alley
Yeah.
back alley in New York. Said dentist.
Yeah, he
You
did
know how
not
like
look
the
like he
girls
was on
go
the up and up.
like the girls used to go get the back alley BBLs. He looked like a back alley dentist.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
weird. Like I mean, at the time, I probably didn't think anything of it, but looking back, I was like, he does not look reputable at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they talked about the way she talked because she was from the South and she had a real Southern slang. Talking about this young lady here, you know,
Oh,
and so
yeah,
they
she's from
said
the
it took 12
Midwest.
hours at the dentist.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
and she said she still has problems, from
Y-
that.
Yeah, yeah. She said
That's
she
crazy.
still had problems to this day. Um, yeah, and the homie is right. It's very dangerous to have that many teeth removed. Talking about from the other girl removed
Mm,
all in one day. That you don't usually do that because when we go to the dentist now, even if we gotta get a tooth removed or whatever, it's a process. You come get some X-rays one day, then you come back, then you come and get some up. It's like you might go 3 or 4 different steps before you. They don't just do all that in no one day. a whole
Yeah, I
bunch
don't know.
of
I mean, I had my
continuity
wisdom
work.
teeth removed, and I had 4 teeth removed in one day, so I don't know what the limit is. And they're wisdom teeth, so they're not as probably substantial as the other teeth,
I
that
think
the
she
girl
had an
had.
extra row of teeth on top of teeth. She had a lot of the other girls had a lot of.
Yeah,
This one here, her teeth was not crooked. It was just that gap.
yeah, that's
And
it.
so that's just still outrageous. It's still outrageous. So um yeah, I did not like that at all. I didn't like that. And she was not you can tell she wasn't happy. She didn't believe nothing that Tyra said. She
Yeah,
was like, this is BS. She didn't believe nothing because Tyra didn't seem like she took no accountability of saying, well, it was almost like it is what it is. It was what it was. Get over
yeah,
it. That's she just
yeah.
said that
Because
attitude like that.
Yeah, because didn't she go in and mention like she was in a model house and she was blocked from jobs because of top model? And she stated
Right.
that for 15 years later, Tyra pretty much stated that she knew she wasn't going to be able to find work and she was always rode the fence with her. And like that was kind of, yeah, I'm like, Tyra, you could have kept that to yourself because that would have enraged me even more.
Right. Right. Yeah, right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And then we had this other young lady, what was her name? Kenya, I think it
Kenya,
was.
yes. Mm-hmm.
And she her
Just,
issue was she had a couple of issues, but one of her main issue, I just watched that episode a month ago. So I remember it. They were in South Africa and they were doing a photo shoot. And well, one complaint, they was always complaining about her gaining weight. Like, I mean, they said she was eating all the time, eating too much, and she was gaining weight. Well, some of the complaints that a lot of the girls had that they was damn near starving them. They didn't get enough food to keep them skinny,
mm-hmm.
to try to keep them slim. They wasn't enough food. So probably when she saw a bagel or a donut, she probably was jamming two or three of them in her mouth. And so they
Mm-hmm.
probably were saying that she was getting little chubby. Like it was nothing chubby about that girl. Nothing. You
No,
know. And then with this thing with the African model, this black man. I hate that it was a black man, but
I know.
I mean he was handsy. I saw it not just on this documentary. I watched the episode on Hulu. He was handsy. He was rubbing all up on her thighs and kind of grinding all close up to her. She could have said, and she stopped the photo shoot, and they got upset. That she stopped the shoot, but I would have stopped it too. I was like,
Yeah.
look, y'all get this brother in check, or I'm gonna step to him and have some words. So, but I understand you young, and when I'm 18, 19, 20, I don't know if I was that assertive that I am now. Now, I would have stepped to the brother and had some words with him. I would probably that assertive at 18, 19, 20, 21, whatever, at their ages at that time. So,
Yeah, it was very cringy and it definitely it was frustrating because he was bold enough to be doing this in front of all these people because she said he was moaning and that's so awkward and
I didn't
cringy
like that.
and she
Yeah.
didn't get any support from any of the workers and you know and that's one of the things that frustrate me about just the genders because as women we get put in so many uncomfortable situations and men just don't understand how it's just so hard to advocate for yourself and all the crap that we have to put up with because we looked at as the ones that's being complaining or just being
Especially black
ungrateful.
women. Especially black women.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, Tamika.
Hey, Tamika.
Yeah, especially black women. Yes. Mm-mm. Yeah. They were dead wrong. They should have stopped the photo. And that was Jay Manuel who was there.
Exactly.
And he was getting upset with her. Like, why are you
Hmm.
stopping the photo shoot? What's the
Hmm.
problem? And then Tyra sort of brushed it off in this documentary. Oh, you could have just did it in a playful way and told him to get up off of you. No, these girls signed up. They are under your care.
Yeah.
It's like going to camp or something, right? And you are under the care of the camp staff or whatever. You're under their care. So you're supposed to make sure they're safe. So this is not like a regular like a job, like nobody will care about you. They were taking care of them. They were putting them in they were feeding them, putting them in a place to stay. I'm not buying Tyra's attitude on this. Just I ain't like no. I didn't like the how even Jay Manuel talked about it.
Even Nigel, he was not taking any accountability. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, nobody saw this as being
Well,
wrong.
he
Like,
said in
what is going
hindsight, he did pretty much said in hindsight they see how it was wrong now, but they didn't think nothing about it back then. He said he wasn't there. He was only there. Everybody tried to. Oh, I ain't had nothing to do with it. I wasn't there. I was only
Mm-hmm.
there for the judging. I wasn't there for the production. I wasn't there for the writing. I wasn't there for this. And he go, Tyra, I wasn't there for this and that, but yet she was one of the main editors, and she said I was a master editor. So she knew everything was going on. Even if she wasn't there on the set, she knew everything that was happening. She was there part of production. She knew, but behind the scenes. I'm not buying it.
Yeah,
Yeah, they all were there wrong.
they were.
So I saw somebody else's comment. Yeah, it made everybody, especially now. Maybe back then I don't know if I cringed, but when I see it now, it's like, ooh.
No, no, this is one thing I know for sure I felt uncomfortable in real time. Because this man is, I can't even say half
And,
naked. He's
no,
90% naked.
yeah, he had like a little cloth over his man muscle, and
Yes.
that probably was getting aroused. I bet he
Exactly.
was moaning on top of the lady.
He looked like he was standing at attention because I was kind of looking at the shots.
I
And then
know, me too. I was looking for
he was flirting hard, prior to, like, that's so uncomfortable and so unprofessional, and nobody was checking him.
right, and they telling her. Oh, Tyra told her. Didn't I remember this in the documentary? Just what Miss Niecy said. They told her she should just work through it. You
Yeah.
know, and I didn't. No, no. That's not what you're supposed to say.
That is what is expected of us, and
Mm.
that's
And
so
understand at
frustrating.
Tyra's time when she came along in the 80s and stuff, 80s and 90s, she did have to, and even Janice Dickinson when she came along in the 70s, they probably did have to just shut their mouth, look pretty, and just
Mm-hmm.
take it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And work through it. So that's
Yeah.
probably why she didn't think nothing about saying something to Kenya about it.
No, yeah, I've had a situation where I had a coworker, and it was crazy because I worked in the same place as my mom at the time, and I was in high school. And this guy, he was in his 30s with a whole family, and he would make all these co-
Mm.
it was very inappropriate comments to me all the time.
Disrespectful, right?
And I
Hmm.
felt so uncomfortable. But I also felt, hey, it was a predominantly Caucasian environment. I'm young. I already felt like, hey, they already giving me a chance because I'm a young Black girl, and he had a higher rank than me. And it was nothing I felt like I can do but just smile and laugh, and just go with the program because I did not want to be looked at as a troublemaker. You know what I'm saying? So I can understand. I've had other situations like that too, but as a young girl, I can imagine, like, the angst. And I know all of us probably have
I
had
think all of
situations
us
like
at
that.
one point or another
Yeah.
have went through this. I think every woman that's in this chat have
Yeah.
gone through this at least at one point or another. From the time you were a young girl, uh, elementary, middle school, high school, your college or working
Mm-hmm.
years, or even if you didn't go to college, but just in your 18, 19, 20s and all that. I think everybody has gone through it at least once, if not more than one time,
Yeah.
in their life. It's happened to me too when I've had where you don't feel comfortable to say anything because you don't want to get nobody upset. You don't want to
Mm-hmm.
look like the somebody put it in here about being an angry Black woman thing or something. Somebody wrote it in here. I forgot. But that's what I'm saying. You would here it is. And if she would have popped off and hit him, she would look like the angry Black girl. I felt like that before. Like, let me not say nothing. Let me just,
Mm-hmm.
not address it, you know.
And the poor girl,
Uh,
she was just worried about having good pictures so she won't get eliminated. You know what I'm saying? Like, dang, that's the stuff we gotta deal with. That's oh Lord. Oh, oh
yeah,
well.
too many times. Letitia said too many times. So, and I thought she was always pretty, and they kept on complaining about her weight. And Janice
Yeah.
Dickinson was one of them who
Oh
complained
my
about her weight
gosh.
all the time. And it was not. Yeah, I mean, maybe she could have um she might got a blow, and also too, women get bloated because when you on a
Mhm.
cycle, it
Yeah.
might not be from eating. You get bloated during that once a month. When if you're on your cycle, your body goes through changes. They didn't
Yeah.
take that in consideration. So I don't know.
Yeah, and it just could have been how her body was shaped. Even though she was a small girl, you kind of hold weight differently. Nobody's built the same. She had a little
Right.
bit of budge, but she was still what, a size 2 probably. So it's
She's
you know.
exactly. Yeah.
Oh well.
Okay, now this is the big one before we wrap this
Mm,
all up. And I'm sure some other things that I might have missed. So if I did, let me know before we get out of here. But Shandy is it Shandy?
Shandy.
Shandy. Okay. I was outraged when I first saw it. I was outraged when I went to Hulu and watched the episode before the documentary even came. And then watching the documentary, I was still outraged. I didn't like it back then in the 2000s, early 2000s. I ain't like this now. I didn't know who she was at first, even Miss Niecy, because Shandy in the show was a skinny and bony, like a tall rail, like a straight up and down pencil. This lady, like, I mean, I'm sure she done been through things in her life. We all bodies. Look, I ain't the same size I was at that time. But however, I just didn't recognize her till they showed, because she looked totally different. Totally
Yeah.
different. The face was not just because she gained weight, just her face and everything looked different. Didn't look like the same person. But I was outraged because, and for those people who who might watch this on the replay, don't remember what happened. But to make a long story short, they were in Italy, I think Milan, Italy, or whatever, something like that. I think it was Milan. And they had these guys who was riding them around, Italian guys riding them around on the little moped bikes, taking them to what they call go sees, when they go see other um fashion houses and stuff like that, trying to get jobs. Well, anyway, the guys later on they said, well, we should invite the guys back over to the house, blah blah blah, have a good time. They had drinks and food and dancing, have a good time. They get in the hot tub, everybody having a good time. But she was drinking so much and just drinking. So she drunk, everybody drunk, the guy was drunk, and the cameras just kept rolling and watching them. And she had a boyfriend, by the way, the whole time. She always talked about the boyfriend. She talked on the phone with the boyfriend, but she ended up you know, sleeping with the guy. The cameras followed her, like followed them from the hot tub, in the shower, making out, in the bedroom, making out. And I know this was a time because we talked about Real World, and even I used to watch in the early days, watch The Challenge, all those kind of shows, and the people who watch Jersey Shore and all these other shows, people was getting people was getting it in. You know what I'm saying? We never seen nobody talk about no condoms or nothing. Everybody was getting it in on shows in those days, right? With But I think that the producers, even though she was drunk and all that, I mean, but regardless, the producers, the cameraman, the camera person should have jumped in and said, "No, stop. We're gonna cut the camera. We're gonna stop this. She's drunk. We're not going to be recording this." But they looked at it as good TV, and they just kept on and kept on. And she felt real bad. She slept with this man, and um, you know. Now, some people say, "Oh, well, it wasn't SA. She was drunk. She voluntarily was drinking." And I think that's beside the point. They should not have been recording the whole damn thing for television. Tell me what your thoughts on the whole Shandy thing.
Okay, so the first watch learning of this, I was so appalled. I was outraged. I was frustrated. There was so many missteps that were taken in this whole situation. Um, because we do get in conversations of assault and all the things. And then to be honest, the second watch, I did have more of a, not a different mindset, but I was trying to review the different perspectives of what may have occurred. Now, obviously the producers knew they were doing something wrong because even the cameraman was apologizing. They even had Tyra come, and have dinner, or so, talk to the girls. It obviously looks like Tyra was up to something, how she was trying to be relatable, and she started talking about cheating and everything. But this is
Y'all
this
should go
is
to Hulu and watch the episode. Watch that episode on Hulu so y'all can really see the whole thing. If you
yeah.
haven't watched it in a long time, not just the document, just watch that episode of that
N-
season
yeah, I
because
remember
it goes
vividly.
deep in it. Yeah, it goes deep with it.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I remember vividly. The thing
Mhm.
is, what I'm saying is, okay, just full transparency, you guys. I was in a not a similar situation, but I've had a situation where I blacked out and I was drunk, but I was familiar, let's just say, with the person, right? But the next morning I did not recall anything. And I was in my 20s, and like I said, I was familiar with the guy. I invited him over, yada yada yada, but I don't remember anything once I got home. Um so it's so many different nuances when you come to these type of situations, because yes, she was in a foreign land, she didn't know this guy. And so it's the thing, we have to learn about consent and how people view consent. I guess that was the main question that I was asking myself. From We already know the whole thing was cringy in terms of being filmed, but I started looking at the gaze of the person she was with, and their interactions in terms of consent that entire evening, right? Because they did shoot how they did show scenes of her being hugged up with the guy and making out with the guy. And then now looking back at it, the whole bed scene that looked cringe because we didn't know the whole story the way they edited it. So it's like, I don't know if it was a situation where that's the thing. If
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
that's kind of
Did he force her into the bedroom and all that? That part
That's
I'm
the thing. That's the part that
they edited so
I
we don't know,
yes, that's the part that I found myself on the second watch kind of trying to analyze more, because we don't know how much consent was given, how much consent looks like. And that's kind of the dangerous part when you get into hooking up with people you don't know. And not faulting her at all. I'm not faulting Shani at all in terms of this situation, because I don't know what happened. But I'm just saying, when these type of situations come up, it's so difficult, because I've known people, I have people personally in my life that has been assaulted and have had things, done to them. So it's all bad. But I would say, for me personally, that I don't know if I can completely say it was assault watching it the second time. Only
yeah,
because I
yeah.
don't know how far it went in terms of her giving consent.
Yeah,
Because
yeah, because we don't know if she said no or anything. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes,
no, stop, I don't want to do it. And he
yes.
forced her and pinned her that, you know what I'm saying? I know when I was young, I went through a date rape situation
Mm,
like that. But mine was different. I wasn't drunk though. Say I wasn't
mm,
drunk. So mine
okay.
was a real true like situation like that. Um, but her I want to say I agree with Miss Nisi in the comment that she was violated, but I think was she more violated by the producers for not protecting her, or the guy in Italy? He was drunk too, so they
Yeah,
was
that's the thing. And it's like, you know, in terms of culturally, like, and I feel like as a human, you should be able to determine, if this woman is well enough to really consent and engaging in this activity with me. You know what I'm saying? So, accountability has to be had, on his end, especially, the guy, as well as the producers, because that's so cringy to even. I understand they was living in this Big Brother world where they are over here recording everything, but at some point, where
yeah.
does it stop? Where's
Yeah,
the
I forgot
boundary?
about like Big Brother. All them shows was around by then, so everybody was trying to up the up the ante.
Yeah,
So that's what Top Model also
yeah.
did, trying to do what they do. Let's keep on. They said so. What Ken Mock say that this was every they signed documents that this would be like a documentary style type of thing, sort of like Real World or Big Brother, those type of shows.
Yeah.
But yeah, but when you see somebody is so passed out drunk that they don't really know what the hell they're doing and saying and can't stand up on their 2 feet and all that, you have to take the responsibility and say, all right, cut this. Let's break
Yeah.
this up. Let's get this guy up out of here and let's get her sober, get her some help. She sleeps with the guy, and then the next day she felt so bad. She was bawling and crying to no end, like someone died. And then when she called the boyfriend on the phone, I'm not mad at the boyfriend for yelling and cursing her out. I mean,
Yeah, he was
I
hurt.
can't. Yeah, he was hurt. Yeah, because they stayed together a little bit after that, but now she said an update that they not together. He just could not deal with it because she would be in the street and people would be bringing it up. Like people would, oh, aren't you the girl that was such and such and such? And it was just too much for him and he couldn't take it, you know. So
Yeah, it
I
was
understand that.
embarrassing. Yeah.
But he cussed her out and was like, I
You had
mean, I can't even,
sex? Like it
you
was so
had sex? Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I
it
mean,
was
he was
I remember
cussing out,
that.
but you know what I'm saying? He was just screaming to the top of his lungs. He was mad.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it
I
was
understand,
hurtful. Yeah. It was
you
just
know.
all the way bad. And to make matters worse, the way Tyra handled it after the fact, because she kept inviting the girl to her talk show,
But
kept
did you
bringing
see?
it up and
Yeah,
bringing it up.
he go. Letitia said Ty was acting like she barely remembers Shanty. That made me so mad, heartless. Yeah, she acted like she couldn't remember, but yet you had the girl on your talk show and you kept. She said, "What? You don't want to look at the video and look at why would I want to look at the video of me
Exactly.
being pissy drunk, falling out drunk, whether I'm violated or not violated by the man." But I embarrassed myself, embarrassed my family, friends, my boyfriend, everything. Just embarrass myself.
Yeah.
Why would I
It
want
was
to keep looking at that? You know?
they were exploiting this situation to no end. And it
Mm.
was just so disgusting.
Even
Because you
though
could
they
talk about
signed
so many other
documents,
things.
right? Exactly. And even though they signed documents stating that this was like a documentary style, we can film everything. When you see someone that's pissy drunk and they having sex with strangers, this wasn't like her
Yeah.
boyfriend showed up and they hooked up on the screen
Yeah.
or she had a husband or something. No, this was
Yeah.
a stranger.
Yeah, looking back, I do feel that they should have, and maybe they change things going forward. But I understand this is more. He Ken was very, uh, he was very careful about saying this is documentary style. So I guess there's on some level you can't or don't want to interfere or what quote unquote what naturally happen. But this is not a natural situation because naturally Shandy would not have been in Italy matched up with these guys that they met. They wouldn't be in his house. So you guys created an environment, and at some point when you realize the environment may not be safe, then you need to intervene.
Exactly. I'm on the same page. Same page. Exactly.
Once they saw that she was drunk and under the influence, then I feel like at the very least bring her in a room, take her out of the environment. Hey Shanty, we see you kind of getting close with this guy. We know how things can get.
You
Are
make
you know what
them
I'm saying?
leave.
Like,
You
how
let that
people, like
guy
how the
go.
cops, how the police, they give you a test, a DUI test. I can't a sober, I can't think of the name right now, but they give you a test to see how drunk you are, so
Yeah,
they could have
sobriety
done
test.
things.
Yeah.
Yes, I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't think of it, but they could
Mm-hmm.
have intervened, but I think they were so hooked on making good TV that all the
Mm-hmm.
morals just was left out the
But
window.
the morals just oozed out their ear and on the
Yeah,
ground. You know what I'm saying? So,
exactly.
um, yeah,
It's
like
so
I say,
much though.
you
It's
should say cut it and make them that those young men leave the premises. Y'all
yeah.
get out. We'll put y'all in a cab because they were all drunk. Everybody was drunk.
Yeah.
So put them in a cab, send them on their way, or whatever you got to do with them, and take care of the girls. Not and all the other girls said they saw it was going bad. They saw it was going left, but I guess they
Mhm.
couldn't stop it. It was. You know, it was just
Yeah.
it had gotten out of control.
It's
The
just
other
so
girls that was in the
unfortunate.
house with her, so
It's so unfortunate.
it's bad, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
um that was probably one of the biggest takeaways for me was this whole Shanty thing,
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
so this is what I'm saying at the beginning when we first started talking, that all Tyra has to do, of course, we are looking at things through a 2026 lens that happened back then, even though this was never okay. I don't care what era it was. But um all she do is say, look, we know better now. Look, in hindsight, the stuff we did was messed up. Whatever you say it in a more dressed up professional way than where I'm saying it right now. But you just say, I am sorry. People can argue with you when you saying, I screwed up, I'm sorry. But we got none of that. And then at the end, she's sitting there talking about cycle 25. I'm not here for it, and I'm not watching those. I don't know. I don't even know if that's a real thing or she just run her mouth. Because
Yeah,
I'm
I
not watching
definitely
those. I think we done with this. We're not watching those cycle 25.
yeah. It just hurts because it's like you had a responsibility to these girls. And don't get me wrong, I do feel like Tyra had an intention when she had the idea of the show, and it just turned out to be so big of a monster on some level. It was out of her control. You know what I'm saying? Not saying completely, but I do feel like it was one of those things like, she created a monster of a show, and it got way far beyond what everybody probably ever imagined. But it just really hurts as a viewer, and as a fan, to be like, you just act like you barely remember this girl when clearly she was a big part of this show, at least in the, this was something that was talked about for years, just even when we just thought it was a cheating thing, that was just so huge because we didn't even get to how she talked about, they had to film the conversation. They filmed her, going to the doctor and
Yeah, they said
talking about s.
they had
Yeah.
to film the conversation with her boyfriend. Why you have to do
Yes.
that?
It was so
It was
much,
like
but
to humiliate her to me.
yeah,
You
yeah,
think
they
so?
was trying to make good TV.
Make it good TV. Yeah, I
And
don't even think it was. Let me take that back. I don't even think they were thinking we want to humiliate her. They was thinking about making good TV. Just what you just
yeah,
said.
but it
Like
did,
it wasn't
and
about they had no feelings about Shanty or
no.
any of the girls for that matter.
Yeah.
About all the other things we talked about, whether it was Tiffany or whether it was Danielle with the T, and there was a couple of other girls. I think was some stuff happened that we didn't there was some other stuff. Oh, what about the girls? 'Cause I'm just trying to remember quick things before so we can wrap this up. That what about the other girls who were complaining about that? Oh, Ebony. Damn, I forgot about Ebony, the dark skinned sister. She was season one.
Oh
She was in
yeah.
season one. I remember her. She
Mm-hmm.
was a beautiful lady back then and
Yes.
now.
Oh yes, yes.
She would have had short hair like me,
Mm-hmm.
and she dark skin. She was beautiful. I thought her
Yes.
skin was beautiful back then. I love a chocolate
Yeah.
bar, like a man or woman. If you real chocolate, I think especially if your skin is like glowing like that, she was
Mm-hmm.
a beautiful woman to me and still is. And they kept calling her ashy. That's why she was putting all that grease all over, oil and
Yeah.
stuff all over her skin. They was talking about they didn't know what to do with her hair. That was first of all,
That was
you thought that she had
humiliating.
a natural hair cut. Y'all could have got a barber from down the street. This New York City. It's a barber every goddamn where.
Mm-hmm.
You could have got a damn barber to come up there and did something to her hair. You could have got Miss J. He black. He could have got the clippers and tried to fix it up. Come on now. They didn't even try. And then maybe they
Yeah.
was making her feel so bad. And they put bald spots all in her hair. She had ended up going to a barber and getting it fixed.
Yeah, like I said, Tyra was it was so confusing, so contradictory because, like we said, she told us her purpose for creating the show. Of course, they deviated away from that, but it just seems as though you pretty much perpetuated everything that the modeling industry was already. You didn't really seem like you were trying to change it too much. Um, but on some level, I get it. You want to be able to train them to what they could be exposed to, but there's a fine line between ex, you know training them and hazing, and I feel like it was some weird form of like hazing of some sorts. And then when you pull in the entertainment factor, it just became a whole nother thing. But I just hate that Tyra just not didn't take. Watching it a second time. She did take a little bit accountability, but I just wish she had a little more wherewithal and a little more remorse. And
I
I
didn't
do
feel
feel
no remorse or accountability. I didn't feel it. I
well,
really didn't.
because I caught a few comments. I was like, okay, she did. There was a couple instances they brought up, and she did say, oof, yeah, it was kind of, you know, she kind of glazed over it, but I do feel like on some level she did admit that certain things weren't right.
That
But
everything was ridiculous. Well, that was
yeah,
totally
because
ridiculous.
like you said, it seems like she went harder on the African American girls,
Thank,
and
thank you.
you would think she would protect us more, but it's
That's
like,
what
are
I'm
you?
saying.
But at the same time, I could also see in some strange way she was thinking she was preparing them for what they would have to go through in the industry. So it's kind of like it's kind of weird. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of one of those things. It's a slippery slope. But at the end of the day, Tyra, you could keep cycle 25, because if she
No,
had came on there and was apologetic and admitted
we don't
accountability
want it,
and
Tyra. Is what
stated,
the teacher said. We don't
and
want it.
no, if she could have said, hey, we made a lot of mistakes in the past, I've
Hmm.
admitted our faults, but
Hmm.
hey, we're going to focus on the future and doing things the right way. Now you guys please tune in to cycle 25. Now if she would have positioned it that way, then maybe, but for
Send us
you to
some
just
suggestions or something. I mean, nothing to make it seem like she was caring, like she cared. I mean,
yeah, she's not there. I don't know what it is.
it
She's
just
just
seemed like
not.
she wasn't there. You know,
There's nobody home.
it was nobody home, and one thing about the Ebony too was she didn't lie. She didn't hide it or lie about her being lesbian. She didn't
Mm-mm.
lie about it, or she didn't hide it. She had it on her application, but that was just because I guess she wanted to just let them know. That doesn't mean she wanted the world to know, because she said her own family members didn't know yet. They found out on the show, watching
Yeah,
her on the show, that she had a girlfriend. She wasn't lying about it and hiding it, but you know how it is. I ain't lying
yeah,
about it, but if you know, you know. I ain't going around telling you. It's if you know, you know.
exactly.
Yeah. But they put it out there, and that was, it was
Yeah.
just one thing or another.
Yeah, they
Um,
focused on good TV rather than protecting these girls. But I understand they were technically grown and they signed up, And I asked myself this question. I know we're about to get off, but
mm,
I don't know why this came into my brain. But when I was watching the second time, I questioned myself and asking, like, is this on the brinks of the question, like, did they sell their soul? You know, like, and that's a big question, I know, but it's like, I don't know. I don't want to get into it, but it gets to a level where when you sign up for things and you just open yourself up for all these things. Of course, they didn't know what was in store, but they were definitely exploited nonetheless.
now, you mean the girl sold their soul, or Tyra, or all the above?
I feel like I was asking because more so it seems like the girls not knowing me sold their
Mm,
soul. Like it was
mm.
something they wholeheartedly
But
wanted to be a
but
part
came,
of.
they came in there with the intentions that they were going to get a contract and all that, and it turns out
Exactly.
that it didn't even turn out that way.
But
Some
that
of them,
happens with any industry when you don't know what, like if you're in the music industry, you want to make good music, but along the way, you find yourself in these positions where, not
yeah,
faulting them at all, but I'm just
yeah.
saying sometimes when you quote unquote sell your soul, you're not really doing it, understanding what you're getting yourself into,
Yeah, music
unfortunately.
industry definitely happens, and in Hollywood, we know it
Yeah.
happens. Yeah, they
Yes.
sacrifice that's a whole nother rabbit hole.
That's what I'm saying. But that's
You
a
know
whole
what I'm
nother
saying?
thing.
Yeah, Yeah, I ain't gonna put my conspiracy wig on because
I know.
that
I was like, well, let me just go ahead and just
right.
ask that
But we know
question.
we know a lot of people, politicians.
Yeah.
It's a whole little rabbit hole of that stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, but not knowingly. These girls, I don't think knowingly. Now, Tyra probably could have sold her soul too for to make
Yeah.
the money, the network, and
Yeah.
all of that kind of stuff. So I mean, they say she worth $90 million. She made a
I
lot of money
know.
because they had a lot of spinoffs. It was all over the
Hmm.
world. It was in Japan. It was in Russia, top model Canada, top model Australia. It was all over the place. So she
Yeah.
made a lot of money.
Yeah. It was a
Um,
big deal.
hey, One Journey, yeah, yeah, it was a lot. I'm sure we probably missed something here and there, but all I know, I think I talked about probably the main stuff that
Yeah.
happened.
You
But
covered everything.
I'm sure there was probably one or two things that we missed. But the uh one last kind of question was, why do you think that Eva, Yaya, Takara, and there's somebody else, Winnie Harlow, they were all on Top Model,
Yeah.
and they coming out now. Well, Winnie Harlow hasn't said anything, but Takara, Eva, I ain't heard from Yaya either. So it was just Takara and Eva. They've been going on platforms and podcasts, whatever, and they were saying they had Takara was on there with Gail King. You know what I'm saying? CBS
Yeah.
Morning. They didn't have that same experience. Even though Takara, plus size girl, they claimed
Yeah.
they couldn't find clothes to fit her. Uh they was squeezing her in the clothes
Mm.
and they stabbed her in the back with pins and stuff, trying to squeeze her into clothes. But she said she didn't have the same experiences that the other girls did, and even same with Eva. So, well, I wonder why they didn't
Yeah.
ask, some of those girls, because those were the girls that everybody know, because they're still successful to this day, doing other stuff, acting,
Yeah.
whatever. Winnie Harlow is still
Hmm.
killing the runways to this day. She's still on the runway doing stuff. So,
Yeah, yeah. Takara was my favorite because she was one of the girls. She was curvy like I was, so
yeah,
I
I
love
love her.
watching her.
Me too.
So shout out
I love
to
her
them.
personality and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I do feel like when you doing a documentary is interesting because you like to think you would show a whole picture, but sometimes documentaries do sway to an angle to build a story, right? So
Mm.
maybe the purpose of this documentary was not necessarily to show the positive things of this
That's what I
show,
was thinking. They had a
but
narrative, right? They had a
but I
narrative.
I
Yeah.
also want to say specifically for Eva and Takara, I
Hmm.
feel like yes, Top Model was an avenue for them to be put out on a platform, but I feel like their personalities were so strong and undeniable. If it wasn't Top Model, it may have been another way.
It would have
Like
been
they
something else. It could have easily been Big
exactly.
Brother, anything. It could have been anything. Because Eva, you could see, is still a star anyway. Like, she
Yes.
just has that personality. Now she's acting. She got a new Lifetime movies coming on tomorrow. I saw on the Breakfast Club. She got a Lifetime movie that's dropping tomorrow. Um, and one of the true story things when somebody, the man trying to kill the woman, and you know how the Lifetime movies
Yeah.
are.
Hmm.
So she's doing a lot of acting, plus some BT. She got her show and all that. Um, I haven't seen Takara a whole lot, but I know she's still around doing things. Every now and then I see her pop up on
Yeah.
around. And yeah, I think they had a narrative. I agree with you saying that they just had there was a reason why they didn't ask those girls. They
Yeah.
picked the ones that had the gripes.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
um and now as far as Tiffany, the one that cussed Tyra out, they asked her and she said absolutely not. She didn't want to do it, according to reports that they did ask her to come on there, but because she was one of the first ones they wanted to talk to, but she said, look, she put that behind her. She's done with it. She didn't want to talk to no
Yeah.
media, but because you can clearly see from that post,
Yeah.
she ready
She's
to jump through. She ready to find Tyra and whip her tail in the streets right now. That's what it sounds like from that tweet that she wrote.
yeah. She
F
could probably do
you
her
and
own
all that.
documentary.
Yeah, she better do all time.
Keeping it real, she got enough,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
She better do it. She might go on Zeus and do something or whatever. I
Oh
don't know.
Lord, no. Not Zeus.
I mean, hey, look, they say now that I'm hearing Clarissa and Papoose about to get a reality show on Zeus. So I don't know if it's true or not. That's the rumor I heard.
Who?
Clarissa Shields and Papoose.
Oh no!
I'm hearing
Please
they
let
going.
that be a rumor.
I heard that was a rumor, so I don't.
Oh, gee, I'm
I
not
do
ready.
not know. I do not know. So, um,
Mm. Yes, I
well,
did
whatever.
enjoy Yaya as well, and she's an
Yeah.
actress too. So that's what I'm saying. A
Oh
lot of
yeah. Oh
success
yeah. And
stories.
she played Whitney Houston. She was on
Hmm.
a couple of other things. She's been in a lot of different movies,
Yeah, I
TV shows. Yeah,
I
she's.
enjoy her.
Oh, and that
Yeah,
was one thing about her that they complained about. When she was on her season, that she was her and Eva was on season 3, and Takar, they had the most blacks on that season 3. They
yeah,
had the most blacks on there. Um, they was complaining about her African culture. She would have always wanted to dress Afrocentric and everything, but that was her background too. That was her
yeah.
family. I mean,
It's
I forgot one of her parents. Somebody was African or something, and she, they had a complaint about it. They complained all
yeah.
the time when she wore her hair natural or when she dressed in Afrocentric garb or whatever.
It seems like they had a problem because there was a few girls on there that were very. It was another girl that she had a hair wrap on. She was on that documentary. I remember her. I think I want to say it's Brie, but I could be wrong. But she was very intelligent, and it's not like they had the gripe and just had an issue with the girls that were extra intelligent and just hyper aware of their and proud of their blackism. You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
that's a whole nother thing, but.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
It
It
just
was a
seems
couple
like
other girls on there that had some issues, but I didn't get everybody, but it was one girl too, and I think it was Angela or something. It was one girl. It was a couple of people in there who had some other issues and gripes. They were all
yeah.
similar, but like I said, it's not too late for Tyra to come out and put out a statement. Or she could sit down with Gail King or who. I don't really like Gail King like that, but she could sit down with somebody and say, "Look, I apologize. We made a mistake. If we ever come back again, we're gonna try to do better." I don't think she should ever come back, and she used this to promote another season of this mess. And not this thing. I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. She
Yeah.
should be apologizing. It ain't too late. She could still do it. It just dropped February 16th. So she can still come out. It ain't too late to come out and make a statement saying, "I apologize, I'm sorry, and we're gonna do better."
Yeah, I agree. I
Um
feel like she is able she has enough to where she can redeem herself. She just needs to be calculated on how she handles things going forward because you know how we are. We're a little fickle and
yeah.
people quick to cancel people.
Yeah, they say
But
she live over in I think she said she live over in
Australia.
Australia. So
Hmm.
maybe she need to stay over there. Maybe to stay over there because the girls here in the United States ain't feeling her.
Girl, yeah,
Everybody was mad.
she over there talking
Yeah,
to the
Yaya was
kangaroos,
on.
child.
Oh, Yaya killed it on The Butler. That movie, The Butler, with Oprah, Forrest Whitaker. I
Yeah, I
can't
saw
think
it,
of all
but I
the
don't
people on
remember
there.
her on there.
Oh yeah, no, she played the girlfriend of Forrest Whitaker's son. Yeah, she played the girlfriend. She was part of the Black Panthers, so she had a big afro because it was a period piece. You know what I mean? So she was part in the Black Panthers. No, she was good. Her acting and everything. I forget. Actually, I forget all about her being from Top Model because when I see her acting there, she's like a real actress. Like she's really
Yeah,
into it. She's real good. I only
yeah,
think about Top Model when I think of her or Eva or any of them now because they have evolved. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
they've evolved to other things that it was like, oh, that's right. I forgot you was on Top Model. That's how.
Yeah, I remember.
Mm.
I mean, when I first see them, that's how I was introduced to them. So I do remember that. But like I said, I feel like a lot of those success stories, they would have shined regardless through whatever avenue. It wasn't just through Top Model. So I feel like, and also I also want to say, a lot of them have success outside of modeling. So
Yeah.
maybe that was another. But I feel like they could have still been in the documentary. But who knows?
But
Yeah,
yeah, even if they had to say good things, we still wanted to hear
exactly.
from them. Yeah.
Because you want to have
Yeah.
balance on a documentary. Because if you
Right.
don't, it looks like you're trying to paint a picture,
Right.
even though a lot of things were true.
Oh,
But
and it
still,
worked because that's why we sit there and talking about it. That's why you go. you go on YouTube, and all you got to do is type in top model, and thousands of reviews, thousands of
Yes.
recaps. Everybody, their mama, including me up here, talking about it. So, I mean, they, so they did paint a picture. Look, I heard people calling TYRA a monster and all this. I ain't saying I'm not gonna go to say she no monster,
No.
but I think that she needs to own up to what she did. But y'all right about the Jay Manuel and Nigel and them. They played a part too. They all
Yeah.
play a part too. You know what I'm saying? Ken Mock, all of them. They all play a part. So anyway, it is what it is. But girl, we've been up here 2 hours. I figured we probably be up here about this amount of time. Just to, go through the things. But either way though, I enjoyed the 3 episodes. Because when I called you, I said, girl, you got to watch this thing. It's
Mhm.
crazy.
It was good.
So yeah, it was good. It was good. It was good. So now I know it's supposed to be another one on a E network or some other network. It's supposed to be another one. We'll see what that one's going to talk about, um, but I think we got the gist of it. I think any more documentaries that come out, they just piling on at this point. So, um, we definitely got the gist of it. Um, it wasn't it wasn't it was no balance on that show. They need someone to talk positive. Oh yeah, on the documentary. Yes, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. So anyway, you got anything going to come up in the next? We this is it for February. Black
I
History Month
know.
is over. So but we Black year 365. So we
Exactly.
yeah, we Black
Um
365, not just 1 month. But you got anything going to come up next month or?
yeah, next week I'll be doing a recap on the part 2 of Bridgerton. So I'll
Oh
be
yeah.
doing that. It's a little different than what I normally cover.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a few other things in the works. So, stay tuned, everybody.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then we know Raising Canaan is coming up in the next few months because they dropped a little teaser and I put
Yeah.
it on my community tab. So I might try to, get together with all of y'all. Maybe we can break it down and give our thoughts. We had to talk, late. We had to talk with the group and see how we can get together and talk about that. But I'm ready for Raising Cane. I think it come out in June though, but I'm ready for it.
Yes. I mean, open
I
up
am
the
so
church
ready.
back, baby up, girl. Maybe open up Trap Church again, child.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, back to open up on. Yeah, that's right. That's right. No, that's probably when you open it up is when that show dropped. Then that's
Yeah.
when church will be open. Then, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, open it up for 10 episodes, right? And then close it again, right?
Hmm.
So, but I appreciate you coming up here and chatting with me for a little
Of
while.
course, this was fun.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen who were here. Miss Nisi, Letitia, Monique, the homie, um, all I see, One Journey. It was a lot of different people who popped in, or Tamika. So I appreciate everybody, and I will be seeing y'all. I won't be around this weekend. I got a early morning flight, so I'm going to go to bed, going down to Atlanta. So while I'm down in Atlanta, I'm going to go find where T.I. live, knock on his door, and I say, cut this shit out, you and King, with all this back and forward. We don't want to stop it, okay? So, so
You you got to go get some lemon pepper wings from Magic City too.
right, right. Now I ain't gonna knock on T.I. door. You know why? Because if King will start doing videos dragging me through the streets, you know what I mean?
Child, they love blickies, child. They got blickies everywhere. We don't want no
Right,
problems.
exactly. Yeah, so they'll start dragging me. So now I ain't knocking on their door. I don't want to go nowhere near those people. So but I'm going down there and have a good time with some friends, and they already got
Amen.
things all set up and playing. So yeah, I'm looking
I'm
forward to a good time. So
I'm
I'm all
excited for
packed and
you.
ready to go. So I just need to jump in the bed, wash this lipstick off and everything, go jump in the bed. So, but anyway, but I'll be back next week, and then Thursday I'm back to talking about Cross with Moochie, Tamika, and Detroit, and we talk about Cross on Thursday. So we'll be back for that. So, and then we're gonna have some other things coming up. With some, something else will come up. I don't know what, but something else will come up. Um, yeah. So, and everybody's scared to talk about 50. Um, Oh, they talk about 50 scared. Oh, okay. Well, I'm so old. These people's grown. They need to stop. All of them need to stop. They just need to stop. But all right, thank y'all for the safe travels, and I will see y'all next week on the YouTube streets. Y'all
Bye,
have a good
y'all.
night. Oh, wait a minute now. Is my thing trying to end? Okay. Bye.